Alright, so I'm going to be doing a Winston, primarily a Winston VOD review for Harman here. I went ahead and kind of skipped through the replay a bit. I think right now your primary issue is that you're not aggressive enough when opportunities for you to get kills are presented. And I'll walk through this as the VOD goes, but you give up a lot of opportunities to chase kills where you'd be perfectly safe, right? And help your team swing the tides of the fight. So there's some other issues I noticed, but that's first and foremost the most important thing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay, so obviously this is fine. So I'll say here, you're kind of just sitting out in the open, right? There's no reason to do this. I think the soldier actually misses a lot somehow. Yeah, see, he's kind of backing up because he's afraid of you. There's no reason to just be dancing around in the open like this, because it forces your supports to heal you instead of taking damage. Obviously, this is a very small nitpick, but I have a strong suspicion that, stuff like this may be why you lose some fights, right? Instead of just sitting out here, right, you can literally just wait for your jump again here, and then start walking up like on this side, right? Wait for your team to get it there, and there's like, you don't want to be taking unnecessary damage. It doesn't do anything, right? Okay, so this is one of the things I'm talking about, right? You just jumped and you saw quite literally no one set up anywhere on high ground, right? It was just the soldier. You don't know it quite yet. Obviously, you knew that Winston was over here too. You don't know it quite yet, but their entire team is over here. So that means the soldier is completely free, right? He just wasted his healing pad, right? You got him off high ground. He has no healing pad. You can quite literally wait for the healing pad to expire, and then jump on him afterwards, right? And you get a free kill. So instead of getting this free kill, right? Like you saw he wasted his healing pad. You go back to where they probably all are, right? Because you saw their Winston in lower ranks. They're just going to be grouped up around their tank, right? Like there's really nowhere else they can be except here or spawn, because you saw quite literally no one when you peeked and jumped upper, right? So you know they're all going to be in here. And obviously this is quite dangerous because unless you're hitting tab, right? Their team lineup's only been visible for 4 seconds, right? So obviously if you checked what their team was, this is possibly okay because they obviously do not know. But if they have like an Ana in here and a Reaper or a Torb or Bastion, you do this, you can instantly die, right? And this is obviously much more risky than just fighting that soldier, right? You're going to win 100% of the time against a soldier with no healing pad, right? You literally just jump on them. You probably don't even need a bubble since you had all your armor. So, free kill. Instead, you kind of take a 4v1 where your team can't help you, right? The Winston can just sit in this doorway and block it. And bubble. He may not have bubble. He probably wasted it. Yeah. But I'm sure he can body block you in, right? So you can't get back to your team. And they could have killed you still. So, you almost die there. I'm sure you can imagine if the Torb had better aim, you would have died. So your Echo does all the hard work of getting the kill on the Winston, right? Like your soldier just fed, yeah. But now, since you're up, you should just wait up a tank. You should be looking to get healed and go in as soon as possible. I would not be looking to go through this angle, however. Right, you just saw they're all up here. And like these are really tight corners that your teammates are gonna have a hard time following you in. Once this guy died, right? Yeah, just because the angle is so awkward, right? You should be looking to rotate main to divert the enemy team's attention, right? Your entire team's set up here, right? They're not in any danger because all these people are running away. If you rotate main and you push, for example, from this angle here, from lower and jump up here, when you have full health, obviously, your angle jump is much better, and then your team can also push these stairs at the same time, right? So it diverts these people's attention, right? If you all push this way, right, they only have one place to worry about. Like, you're just gonna get spammed out because they're all looking here, right? You know they're all grouped up here still, and your team is going to want to, you know, probably push this way because they're already here. So you have to do like the hard work of picking a different angle, right? Like you're the one with all the extra HP, so you have to go to a different angle, right? See, and they still have no tank. You really should see. You're just getting spammed out here. This is exactly what I said was going to happen, right? You kind of have to go still because their tank just respawn, right? You're losing your window of opportunity. Yeah, I know your soldier died, right? But having a tank means they can't really hold space very well. It's still in your favor to win the fight. So you were already there. You should have committed, right? You had bubble, you had jump. Even if like, you know, you were already committed to that kind of less than optimal angle, if you just went, you wouldn't have been in any danger of dying, right? You had both your supports and your echo with you. If you just jumped in bubble, you won't get blown up that quickly, even if the torb's overloading, right? And your entire team can just rush in and get these kills. But since you kind of waste time while their monkey is dead, right? And take this really long angle, you've given these people time to back up and set up at a better like spot for them. So this soldier already has kind of marked you a little, right, as you come in, and your support's gonna have a hard time following you all the way from that distance, right? Hard time healing you. So there's actually no reason to drop here. You can still bubble dance, right? You want to get full value out of the bubble and keep sapping the torb. You actually heard he used overload earlier, so you have really nothing to worry about. He can't kill you with nothing very easily. And then this is why dropping and using jump to get back up is so important. If you didn't use jump earlier, you would be a lot healthier. Like after you fell and can't jump back up, you'd be a lot healthier. If you kept bubble dancing right, and you'd be able to jump the soldier that's pushing you right now, right? As soon as he started pushing you and get that kill. Like imagine if you had jump right here instead of wasting it by, you know, falling back down, forcing yourself to jump back up. Because I think in the moment you realized falling down was a mistake, right? So it's kind of coming back to, you know, bite you, I guess, right? So you obviously bad jump. You have no health, right? If you jump, you're just gonna explode. If this soldier was better, he would have chased and killed you here. Not quite sure where he's going, but okay, not a very good bubble. You know, your team's kind of in a bad spot, right? You're all in this lower area, and you're very weak. You can't really commit to do anything. So yeah, this is not where you want to be as Winston, right? Your jump angles are like really bad from here. You can't really get much accomplished. And the problem is, if you jump anywhere, right, and your entire team is down here with you, which you just saw that they are, the enemy Winston can literally just sit in this doorway and prevent your entire team from walking in, right? That's why it's super important to take different angles from your team. Because on defense in particular, if this guy is smart, which, you know, it's plat or whatever, so it's iffy. But even like doing the obvious thing of just staring at your team and sitting in a doorway, I guess, he can just win the fight by letting you in the open against 4 people that have a ton of angles on you and just holding off the rest of your team. I'm sure you kind of see the problem now, right? This Winston doesn't even need to shoot to win this fight now that you've, you know, committed the jump in. He can quite literally just sit right here, you know, zap you, watch you, and then primarily watch the rest of your team. Your echo's respawning, right? And you knew everyone from your teams down here, they can't do anything to help you, right? Something to keep in mind. Alright, he actually ends up backing up for some reason, but he actually comes back in and does the right thing. Kind of like I said. So he's forcing your entire team out, now you can't do anything, right?
Caution.
Yep, and then a soldier gets a flank on your team, so, or just runs in, I guess. You're just kind of wasting time shooting the turret, right? Ultimately, like, it was just a bad engage, right? You just can't go through that angle. It's fine not to stagger here, so.
Challenging, but anything worthwhile usually is.
Okay, and there is one thing I want to talk about. It's not like super necessary, but you can charge a right click, right, and then jump, and then discharge your right click as you land in melee, and that does a maximum amount of like burst damage, right? I don't know exactly how much it does, but it probably almost doubles your landing damage, right? Like land might do like 50 or 60, I'm not entirely sure. And then zap, the fully charged like zap or whatever you want to call it, also does probably about the same amount. And then melee does 40ish, right? So you're probably more than doubling your land, something in that range, right? And getting just even that bit more damage really helps secure kills. So. Okay, so let me rewatch this. Okay, so this is not a good bubble, right? They don't really have. It's not good because one, their Torb's running away, right? He's not shooting you. The Kiri's not shooting you. It's just this soldier, right? And your Kiri is about to peek the corner. And it's like, I know you maybe want to protect your team or something, or maybe you're scared of the soldier. But if you're getting shot only by one person, you can't do it because now you can't commit, right? Every time you bubble like defensively, that pretty much means you can't jump in aggressively, right? You really want to be taking an aggressive angle as Winston, using your bubble to keep you in long enough for you to get your jump back to get out. Using it defensively like this, you see, I mean, it blocks half of, you use about half of its HP, right? Which is okay, but now you can't do anything aggressively. Even though you have primal, you really want to be using it to jump in. And get someone, put offensive pressure, right? Like you saw this Juno use her fly or whatever. Imagine if you had saved your bubble, jumped the Juno, and then just, annoyed her, kept zapping her. You probably would have killed her, right? Because you could block the heals from Kiri and force her to come in, or TP in and Suzu and stuff like that, right? And then potentially kill him with Primal, right? You could Primal when you get low and get him in this corner, or like get people off the map, something like that. But using it defensively kind of forces your hand. You can't really do anything right here, not yet. Okay, this is kind of what I was talking about, right? You're being too passive here. You have Primal, you have nothing really to worry about, and your bubble's about to come back online. I think it was a mistake to drop because you don't know where anyone besides. You shouldn't really know that they're in. I don't know why they're in here, but that's fair. But you see, they're in here. This Torb's not paying attention to you, and you can hear the soldier, and you're about to see him. Like, just push these people. Just jam them in a room, right? Force them not to be able to move. Just body block him. Like, there's no reason to be scared. It's a soldier at point blank range. He will not kill you before you kill him. It's just kind of taking so long to do stuff. Your team's gonna die, right? You actually saw the Kiri behind you there, by the way. Teleported. I will say, you want to use your ult pretty much like the moment you get it, right? You want to be using your ult to get value pretty much as soon as you see an opportunity. And then build another one, right? If you want to carry and win games, you got to be, using your ult to win fights as early as possible, right? You don't want to be sitting on it, right? You want to win fights with your ultimate before the enemy has a chance to, use theirs. So, yeah, nothing you can do here. 2 people in your team are dead, so I would be getting out. There's no reason to commit here. You're not gonna kill anyone. Yeah, needless to say, this is not a good primal. You're just giving these people a ton of full charge. You're not gonna kill anyone. It's a 1v5. I guess maybe you want to swap. That's okay. I don't think the pick was the problem necessarily, but Diva does have a good matchup into Winston. So here, I'm not really a fan of the pick. Winston on this map is surprisingly difficult to farm damage-wise. Asmalga, I mean, you really can't do anything on this character if you don't have like a constant source of damage on their tank, so. Since he's feeding, this is okay. Okay, so small detail. Against tanks, there's no reason not to, you know, especially Winston Primal. It's like the biggest hitbox in the game besides like maybe Ryan's shield. No reason not just completely full blasting like, both barrels at the same time. That's an optimistic charge because Winston's jump cooldown so fast. Primal, right? Okay, so you should have been shooting the Torb first here instead of the Kiri. As Malga, you really have to farm people with bigger hitboxes, and especially farm people that are closer, right? The Torb's a much easier target, right? You still get overhealth, I believe, or something like that from shooting people when they're right. So just farm the Torb. This isn't a good E because the Torb can break LOS very easily. You only want to use E when your opponents have like nowhere to back up, right? He can just dance around this corner and even play behind his turret pretty much forever. Okay, so.
Not bad. Not bad. Hello.
If you
Okay, this is fine. They're all coming this way, so. This is pretty good. I mean, you just mirror where they're going. Here, I'd say you can keep chasing. No reason to go back. I mean, you just got one pick, right? So your instinct should be look to see if you can get one, right? This Reaper feeds. He probably shouldn't have died, but yeah, he is Wraith. But that's besides the point. He makes a mistake and you get the kill, right? You should keep chasing, right? You have full health and they're in a tiny room. Yeah, don't let the soldier do this, right? Your team, I know maybe you're expecting your team not to die to this, but you'd be surprised, especially in like plat or whatever. You have to prevent the soldier from doing this. This is kind of what I was talking about from being aggressive. The soldier is not going to win a fight against you point blank, right? Do not let him peek. If you see him or hear him shooting, right? Start peeking instead and forcing him away immediately. Like he had no reason to run away there. I mean, obviously once you started pushing him, he ran away, but he started running away before you started pushing him, so. Okay, so obviously good target priority here. This guy's feeding. I will say, you should be looking to jump to cut off his exit. So what I mean is, you should be aiming to jump at this doorway pretty much right here, right? That way you guaranteed do damage to him, right? Because if he sees you, he's going to instinctually try to run away. Right, so you do more damage. You cut off his retreat, right? So he can't just leave. And if he decides, you know, not to run away, he's just going to be stuck in the middle of like your entire team and die anyways, so. Small thing, you know, good kill regardless. Here, keep chasing again. No reason to let these people go out for free. Okay, so actually you do. It's a little slow. You could have reloaded. Instead of jumping on the floor, because you know they have a Reaper, right? From earlier. If instead you just jumped on top of this train right here, you get the same damage, right? You can still zap these people, and it makes it a lot harder for the Reaper to shoot you. And you can also get easy access to their backline, right? Something to keep in mind. Usually, you know, it's okay to give up on the splat on the jump damage, especially against like two supports healing each other, if you can prevent yourself from taking a ton of damage. This is pretty good here. You actually did not need to jump out here. You're still relatively healthy, and you have your bubble, right? And your back can heal you from high ground, right? So their bubble really doesn't matter. Like, jumping back to your team does nothing but put you in LOS of the Reaper. Instead, you could keep zapping the supports. They're not even paying attention, right? The Reaper isn't paying attention to you. Only the Winston is. The Winston's gonna take literally like 4 seconds to kill you. So if you just bubbled so the supports can't shoot you, right? You can start zapping them and stop them from helping their Reaper, right? If you block their healing, yes, they're gonna have to heal each other because they're grouped up. So you either kill them if they don't heal each other, or the Reaper is gonna get forced out anyways. So
No one can stop me.
okay. So this Winston makes the same mistake you made earlier when you went lower, right? He just jumps in, even though you were harassing his backline, right? And stopping them from just walking in. And he gets bubbled off, so. Here, I would be looking to jump in. You don't have bubble, but their tank's dead, right? Their supports are right side. You saw them, and you also should know they're there from context, right? Their DPS are there on the left, so. You saw the Juno. Instead of zapping the Reaper, just do your best to completely ignore them, right? Go on their supports. Yeah, you're letting these people get out for free a lot. If instead you of zapping the Reaper, you just immediately jumped on this bus again or whatever, or jumped straight into their supports, you could have, you know, gotten the Reaper killed or the soldier killed because the supports are forced to heal each other, right? It's very important pretty much always to harass the supports if they're in jump range. This is fine. It's not your job to worry about the Winston, really. Okay, so this is a missed opportunity to primal? Maybe? No, actually, I take that back. Don't even look at the Winston. He can't really do anything if you stop his team from coming in, right? You can just play this doorway and prevent their supports from healing the Winston, and you keep the soldier in check, and you're doing your job, right? This Winston is going to die if he commits to your team 1v4, right? Yeah, don't jump the Reaper here. You're getting a lot more value from holding off the soldier and both supports over here, right? Like if they want to make the mistake of just trying to force their way through a Winston, right? All you literally have to do to stop this guy from running in is sit here, right? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to even like shoot him or peek. You just have to be, you know, your presence here is enough to stop these 3 people from doing anything on this top walkway and getting an angle on your team, right? The only way this Winston on the other team does anything is if his team comes in with him, right? In general, you definitely want to ignore, you know, your counters, so to speak, as much as you can. If this guy's aim was better, he could definitely blow you up here. I like this primal, just knock him off the cliff. You see the Juno's flying, you can't really do anything to her about that. You actually see the Kiri top right, a little slow to jump on her, but it's good that you get on her. No reason to bubble here, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, just keep the supports. This is what you should be doing. See, now that they're healing each other, right? They're forced to heal each other or die. Now this Winston has no help, right? And I guess wherever the Reaper is, he has no help too, so. Like your team has 2 DPS and 2 supports. They're not gonna die ever to like this win. I mean, unless a Reaper gets like really, really good shots, they're not gonna die the Winston, right? They're throwing if they die. This is not gonna happen. So yeah, again, don't even look at him. You're basically killing him by keeping his supports away from him, right? That's how you should be looking at tank for the most part. Especially Winston, you want to be trading with the enemy tank as little as possible. This is pretty good, you know, charging up your ultimate. You should know they pretty much all have ultimate, right? They haven't used any of their ults except primal, so it doesn't really matter if you take damage here. Again, I wouldn't even bother, right? He can get healed by both of his supports. You're just kind of wasting your bubble when you could, like, it's a pretty long cooldown, right? Like, it just gets blown up pretty much immediately. I guess good kill on him. He shouldn't have died, but, yeah, realistically, he's going to get double pocketed, right? They're going to blow up your bubble and force you out, and now you can't do anything for, like, you know, 6 seconds, right? Because now you have no bubble to block damage. Like, imagine if you had bubble here, I mean. It doesn't really matter because the Reaper fed, but you could chase much harder. That's okay. I mean, you get the kill. You see how much value you're getting just from controlling this high ground, right? And the Winston makes a mistake of jumping in. I think this is an okay time to jump the Winston. Okay, yeah, actually, that's a good play because the Reaper's dead, and you saw both. You saw the soldier and the Kiri, and the Juno's always been easier. So actually, there, I don't know if you noticed, you saw the Kiri teleport in. Yeah, she's literally right behind you. If you just stand where you're standing, right, and body block her, she's gonna get stuck in the LOS of your team. Okay, that's okay. That's you still force out Suzu, so. Oh, that's pretty good. I like that. Okay. So far, this fight's been pretty good. You know, you're definitely in a good position to stop their Kitsune, stop their supports from using it, right? It's good target priority. This is pretty good. You can actually kill this soldier here. Again, ignore the Winston. You cannot actually kill him. That's decent. Again, I would generally be looking to ignore the Winston because your cast could have killed him anyways, right? And by stopping their soldier who is full health from taking an angle on your team, like he's the real threat, right? The Winston at 200 health or whatever he was is not going to be able to do anything. If he jumps a cast, he's just going to fan the hammer and explode, right? Or even like just two tapped with headshots or whatever. I mean, probably not going to happen in plat, but he's going to die before he kills your cast. The soldier's the real problem, right? He's full health more or less. And he can like, you know, just like shoot your cast for like any range from any range, right? And just shoot a helix and kill him in like half a second, right? So again, if you just control the like soldier, it would have been much more value. It's okay that you killed the Winston, but the better thing to do again is just stop this guy from getting an angle, right? If you really wanted to, he just got the pack. You could literally jump him in this tiny room, get the massive burst damage, you know, jump, zap, and then melee, and you have this pylon to play around, right? And you have bubble as well, so you have no chance of dying. So like, yep, you wouldn't be able to stop the Reaper from doing what he's about to do, but you could kill the soldier instead, right? And trade out for whoever the Reaper is about to kill. Again, yeah, just do your best to ignore Reaper. He has no reason not to have Wraith. You just can't really kill Reaper without your team, so. Since you take all that damage, now you can't fight the soldier, right? If you were just fighting the soldier from the beginning, you'd be dead. And he ends up actually killing the cast. You should have jumped him. I know you might be thinking it's close range, but jump does have burst damage. You also could have primaled him here, right? Since this soldier just got a pick, and the Reaper got a pick, you need to do your best to turn the fight, right? Okay, so now you know an Anna's behind you, right? So I hope what you're about to do is turn around and knock this Anna off the map. Actually, where is... Oh, she's literally right behind. What? Okay, so I hope what you're about to do is primal and throw her right off the map. So. Okay, again, yeah, don't waste your time on Reaper. Similarly, like the Winston, right? You kill Reaper and you kill tanks by denying their supports, right? Okay, kind of accidentally killed that guy. It's still a good kill. But I'm sure you'd imagine like how much better this fight would be going if you just knocked this Anna off the map and kept their Juno, you know, occupied. Like they weren't even occupied and you still killed the soldier, right? They shouldn't let that happen. But just imagine, like if you just kill the Anna so she can heal anyone, right? And just occupy the Juno, everyone would be dead. I mean, they're not gonna kill you. She has no sleep, and you have 1,300 health. You kind of got blown up by the Reaper, right? You just do not want to fight him. Okay,
No
so
one can stop me.
you really here should just be waiting to get full healed. There's no reason to commit. I mean, you don't even have bubble, right? So you can't. She's gonna be back to sleep if she doesn't have it right now. She's gonna have it very soon. Yeah, so she actually has it. If she slept you here, you could have died immediately. So you cannot commit on Anna if she has sleep without bubble. You shouldn't have been doing it without your bubble. Or, sorry, you shouldn't have been doing it at half health to begin with, but you really can't do it when Anna has her cooldowns, right? You'll never kill her, and you have you run the risk of dying yourself. Just wait for your there. You just need to wait for your Yari to heal you. There. Look. The Reaper has another ultimate because you've been feeding him so much damage, right? You're just kind of face tanking this Reaper too much. If you see him, you just do not want to peek him, right? Unless he has no fade and you can chase the kill, you just want to do your best to stay away from him. So yeah. Okay, so in total, I think you really need to work on your aggression, right? Like your instinct as tank should be to look for as much map control and as many like kills as possible, right? I mean, obviously getting kills is the ideal thing to do, especially on Winston, right? But just denying people from getting access to the map is really your job on tank, especially on defense, right? I'm sure you can see in this replay how well it worked out just by literally sitting top right on defense and just denying their soldier and supports from walking in over and over again. Like they just could not do anything, right? I'd say the second thing I want you to work on is staying away from people you shouldn't be targeting, right? So, especially like if you're on Winston, do your best to completely ignore the Reaper, right? Do your best to harass their backline. I guess this is also a target priority thing, right? You definitely want to be harassing their supports and forcing them to heal each other as much as possible, right? That's how you get kills on Winston in particular, right? If you force supports to heal each other, now their team has no heals themselves and they can't sustain their fights, right? Your team's gonna win the 4v3 with heals and you're not gonna die to the vast majority of support combos. So, and the only dangerous ones like Ana Zen where they can blow you up, just save your bubble for like the important cooldowns. So, I think your third thing you should work on is that you should I think those are actually the primary two. Yeah, just making sure you have kind of that killer instinct on tank and do your best job to improve your target priority and stay away from people you shouldn't be fighting. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.